What's going on? It's your boy, Brother Al, and I'm back with another one. And this one is just about how I just love seeing more and more of the people in my community. I like to see it, period, right? But just to see other people that look like me now voting Republican. All right. And I'll tell you why I'm so excited about that. And it makes me happy, especially my brothers and sisters in Chicago with this Flip Chicago Red movement. I especially like to see that, man, because far too long, the legacy media, your three major news networks, or ABC, CBS, and whatever other ones, and then with your cable news, legacy media like CNN and MSDNC, um, they've perpetuated the narrative that we have to vote one way, that Biden infamously said, "You ain't black if you ain't voting for me." So that came from the top guy in the Democrat Party. All right, so straight from the top, you see the racism, you see the stereotypes perpetuated straight from the top of the Democrat Party, and people for so long have been living in Chicago, and they're saying enough is enough. And Chicago, to me, is the most blatant example of what happens when you let liberals go unchecked. This is what happens when you allow and you give so much entitlement to people, when you make your city just a sanctuary city for illegal aliens, when black people have been in Chicago for now, like well, on mass, because there was a big massive influx of people moving to Chicago over like the about like the last 100 years or so. Black people moving out of the South up to the big cities up north to get the jobs in the factories and get those higher wage jobs instead of making the low incomes from sharecropping. and and black people, ever since they got there, have had issues, right? And you got to remember, those cities were ran by Democrats for a very, very, very long time, and yet they're still having the same issues. And a city like Chicago that's just running totally amok, totally rebelling against the federal laws of this nation. I know good and well, I bet you that if I fly back home into Chicago O'Hare Airport with no passport, no visa, they'll turn me right around. But for some reason, they're just allowing all of these unchecked illegal aliens to come in and to get food stamps, to get temporary cash assistance, to get free hotels, to get free flights into the United States. So there's no mystery, there's no wonder why we see this movement of black people in Chicago and throughout the nation, me, myself included, from Baltimore City, after living in Democrat hellholes for so long, and saying, what are you going to do to fight the crime? What are you going to do to lower all of this drug abuse and drug hustling and drug running? What are you going to do to help save us, to help better our communities? And then people go ahead and do things and take initiatives, and then they get killed for doing that, or they get harassed for doing that. And so if the politicians aren't going to do it, and if we're not going to have their backs when we do it, then it's a problem when someone from DC, when the president of the United States decides, hey, I'm not taking it no more. I'm not going to have 75 people shot over the weekend. I'm not going to have 1,000 people, 700 people, 300 people killed. Somebody dying almost every single day in these American cities. And when you have mayors and when you have governors in open rebellion against the United States of America and her laws, you can't be upset when the police come knocking. You can't be upset when the National Guard boys come on rolling in. So it's so good to see my people breaking against the stereotype unapologetically and not afraid, all right? Because there's just so much peer pressure out there, especially in the black community, right? Because we vote Democrat like 90% a clip. The only demographic that only like votes majority just one way. I don't know. I just don't understand why it's us. But for some reason, we're the only demographic that just, we all just gotta be the same, right? So, but it ain't, to me, it ain't even about being the same. For a lot of these black voters, it is. But to me, it's just about, look, we done had Democrats for how long? And your city's been jacked up for how long? So obviously, the problem gotta be the Democrats. You know, now I'm not saying, we're gonna have a Republican mayor of Chicago or a Republican mayor of Baltimore or anything like that. That would be awesome. But what I'm saying is, maybe we can, through voicing our concerns and most of all voicing our vote, we can get these people to start enacting policies that actually benefit us Americans, instead of a Juan or whatever, a guy that's from another country far, far away that can't speak any English. All right? Taking resources that we paid into all of our lives away from people that actually need them. All right, now I'm not talking about people that abuse the system. I'm talking about people that actually need them, and instead giving them to people that come from lands far, far away that can't speak our language. All right, so if you're still watching this, go ahead, like the video for support. If you don't like it, tell me why down in the comments. I want to know. I want to see what is the logic behind it, and let's have an intellectual conversation. All right, not just name calling and this, that, and the other. Tell me your reason and your logic behind this. And if you agree, I wanna hear from you too. All right, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notification bell so that you get all the latest content, alerts. Peace and God bless.